So I'm Ryan Larkins. I'm here with Canines for Warriors, and I would love for y'all to just introduce yourselves.
My name is Toy, and this is Bake, and I was in the Marine Corps.
I'm Dave, this is Doc, and I'm an Army veteran.
Chris Luna, this is Astro, Navy Corpsman.
It's so good to be here with y'all today. Might start with Toy. Just maybe just as much as you feel comfortable with, just tell a little bit about your story and your time in the military.
I spent 26 years in the Marine Corps, and I experienced a lot of sexual harassment, multiple sexual assaults, and some combat trauma as well. And I was in a really, really, really dark place and found out about Canines for Warriors and went through the program, and I got Bake.
That's amazing. Tell us a little bit about Bake.
Bake is an Australian Shepherd Blue Heeler mix. He comes from San Antonio. He was a rescue. We go through a pretty extensive interview process and before we get the dog, and so they can match you up with a dog that has, that's going to work for you. I was not leading a very I was not leading a very active lifestyle, but I love the outdoors. So one of the things that I wanted is I wanted to be able to hike the Appalachian Trail with my dog.
Sure. What about you, Dave?
So, like Toy, most of us when we came here, we were already scraping the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. The wounds that we are suffering, whether people knew them or not. For me, they were definitely invisible for a long time, but I knew what was going on deep down inside. So when I got here, it was kind of a break, a relief from reality, so to speak, where I could kind of concentrate on me and what I needed from me and not so much the world and everything else. Most of us, we've given our lives in service of our country.
Yes.
Many of us go on, like myself, to become a first responder. So we're dedicating ourselves to our state and our local towns. And to have that kind of strip from me kind of left me without dignity, so to speak, and an identity. And for me, coming here, Doc gave me like this newfound purpose in life. I always say I came here to get healed, and what I got back was I can't even put a price on it, because now the purpose that I had in life that now I could go and get back even more still in another sense of service. Just again, it's priceless. It's a story that continues to tell itself and evolve every day.
That's amazing. Do you have any like special stories about Doc or like experiences?
I will tell you, you can read the slogans and see everything that K9 puts out, and I know what he does for me. I didn't really realize that these service dogs to still do for others, even not being trained specifically for them. And we were at an event in California, and there was an interaction, just almost like an eye contact with a gentleman. And it always caught me by surprise and odd, because it was coming out of a bathroom. I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's something on me or something going on in there.
Sure.
And when I came out, he was waiting for me. And so I said, hey, can I help you? And he goes, hey, is this a service dog? And I said, yeah. And he's like, do you mind if I pet your dog? And I know everyone sees do not pet, but we have a command we could give our dogs. And I said, sure, certainly, why not? And he did it, and he just kind of dropped down and started tearing up and feeling the emotion, and I didn't know what was going on. And he goes, I'm a vet, and I was thinking about taking my own life. Now,
Wow.
I don't know many things more powerful than that. That's what their mission is to save veterans. And here I am faced with this, and this young gentleman just said, hey, I don't deserve to live, but I don't deserve a service dog. And I had asked him, like, what did you do, if you don't mind me asking? And he said, I was mortuary affairs. I don't know who else is deserving of a service dog. You don't have to be in direct combat just to have one of these things. Unfortunately, combat, rears its ugly head in ways that we just, can't manifest sometimes. So,
Luna?
So I did served about 22 years, visited a dozen countries, did all kinds of different operations, did combat tours. So one of my biggest things with getting the lucky Astro, the lucky recipient of Astro, so whenever I first went through, she would pace around the bedroom at night. So I'm on campus in San Antonio, she's pacing around the bedroom, and I'm like, man, she's a puppy. She just needs to go out. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to put up with this stuff, putting up with having a puppy. So we graduated in November of 2022. So it wasn't until I got back home that I realized that all these times that she had been pacing and waking me up and different things like that, that I realized what had happened. So we've been together a little over a year now, and I can count on one hand how many times I've heard her bark.
Wow.
This night, apparently she couldn't wake me up. So typically when she would pace, and sometimes she would wake me up, but a lot of times she would take her nose and she'd come up and nose my hand, my foot, whatever was hanging off the bed, that's how she would wake me up. Well, this night she couldn't wake me up, so she barked. So when she barked, obviously I didn't wake up, or I did wake up finally. And then I looked down at her, because she has a bed down here, so I looked down at her and she's just looking at me. I looked down at her, she's looking at me. Kind of got the fog of war going. So I asked her, I said, do you want to go out? She's still just standing there looking at me. So I finally gathered my stuff. We go out. We come back in. She goes to the bathroom. Well, she sits down. She's still looking at me. So I invited her up on the bed because I let her sleep with me every once in a while. She comes up on the bed. It still takes her about 5 minutes to settle down. Well, what I finally came to realize is I must have been having a nightmare. And so all the times that she would pace and she would come up and she would nudge me, she was waking me up when she would sense that I was having nightmares.
Wow.
And this night, whatever it was, I must have been having an intense nightmare. And so it took her to bark to wake me up, to get me out of my nightmares. So my quality of life, this is what she has done for me. My quality of life, waking me up and not going through the nightmares and having poor sleep. My sleep has gone up. Taking the amount of meds that I used to take has significantly gone down. Talking about the drinking, I live by the bottle. It's like, if I could just put my mind at rest, I wouldn't have to have nightmares. So she has mitigated. She hasn't cured it. And I will say, probably even for these guys are not a cure. They're a tool to help us mitigate some of this stuff. But that's kind of what she has done for me. She has been a tool that has helped change my life, not save it, but she has helped change my life, and that's kind of where I've been the lucky recipient of her, and that she has made a significant difference in my life in that aspect.
That is amazing. That really is. What is the process like? If you come here and apply for a service dog, do you get to come in and just kind of pick a dog? How does that work?
No. I know I always talk to one of the employees here, and I was like, I don't know what you do. We go through an extensive process, an interviewing process. We tell them what our life is now, like currently before we have the dog, and then we tell them what we would like to see, how our life would be after we get the dog, and so they can kind of pair up. Each dog has its own attitude. Any pet owner knows that, but they try to pair up, the dog's personality with, the personality of the veteran. And again, I don't know how they do it. I said they have some kind of gypsy magic.
Yeah.
They magic 8-ball they shake and say, but I don't know what they do, but whatever the process they do, it works.
It's amazing.
I know that I couldn't imagine having another dog other than Bake, and I'm sure you two can say the same thing. You can't imagine having any other dog than your dog. Leave it.
Again, they hit the nail on the head with Doc. I was looking for someone to sit on the sidelines of a soccer field with me, but also go for those long runs. And they hit it, everything you asked for, you're looking for. Just through those interviews. That was it. They hit it. And you do one final one when we get here, and it's maybe a 10-minute conversation with the staff here. And I know for me, it had been a long time since I had a dog. Last time I had it, I was a kid. So I really wasn't sure how this was going to work. And I just know, and I'm going, oh man, I'm going to turn around. It's like a dating game, right? You're going to turn around and it's like, I'm going to have this ugly dog. And this dog is supposed to save my life. And I'm going, and I turned around and I was paused. I was like, is this guy my guy? And then that was it. That was the last hesitation I ever had.
Wow. That's awesome.
And just a caveat, I mean, 100% agree. I went through with one other warrior. He was from Hawaii. He lived on the beach. He hunted, fished for his food. He had a dog that was very, I won't say lazy, but was very grounded. She's very active, and I'm more sediment, I guess you could say, more lazy. So I was telling him, going through the process, I was like, man, they got our dogs backwards. You need her. She can jump up and she can go do this. I need your dog. No, they hit the nail on the head. They fit the dog for us, to the point now to where, like, I'm scared. Like, I hope when we go together, because I will never get another dog again. I don't think any dog would ever meet the same standard. So I would never go through this process again, because this was spot on, exactly what I needed.
Is there anything you would say to like any veteran who is thinking, well, maybe I should do this, like to encourage them, like this is a great.
I would say never count yourself out.
Yeah.
Honestly, right? A lot of us, I think, question, are we worth it? I think that's the one question that everyone I've talked to is asked, are we really worth having a service dog? Why do we deserve one? And like you said, it's a tool. So, come in knowing that it's a tool, but also you have to make yourself vulnerable. I think that's the one part that where healing truly starts, is when you make yourself completely vulnerable and open to the healing. Then these tools can save you. They can cure you over time.
That's so good. That is so good.
I'd say don't minimize your trauma. I know a lot of us, especially in the military, we know someone who has trauma worse than us. And, outside looking in, it might look like they may be dealing with it better than us, because, we don't let anyone know how, we suffer in silence. A lot of us, I mean, even me, and I'm sure you two experienced the same thing, the gentleman that you spoke to, that worked at Mortuary Affairs, we all say our trauma's not worth it. Our trauma's not bad enough for a service dog. Yes, it is. If you have PTSD and it's affecting your life, your trauma's bad enough for a service dog. So don't minimize what you're going through because you think someone else has it worse than you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know it's hard for an alpha male to admit that they may need help, but it's worth pulling the trigger. Again, it's not easy. These guys rely on us to take care of them, but in turn they're going to take care of us. But even if you're an alpha male, admit that you may need some help, and these guys will be there to help.
Well, thank you all so much for sitting down and talking today, and most of all, thank you for your service. I really am thankful.
Appreciate that.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Thank you, sir.